And this is what you hear every day from noon till 2. Don't miss the Cheryl Underwood Show.
It's the jump off. Welcome to the Cheryl Underwood Show.
That's what I'm talking about. Courtney Black. Where are we going, Kyle Irving?
George R. Smith College in Sedalia, Missouri. It was open from 18.
It's Courtney Black with the facts on Sherland with the radio, and you are in the entertainment segment with Courtney and Kyle. It's time for a social media shout out. Today I'm shouting out from Instagram my girl Donna Webster. What's up, Donna? We appreciate you, girl. If you want me to shout you out, follow us on Instagram at Cheryl Underwood Radio.
You are listening to KUAW Radio, home of the all-new Jamal Bakes Show, and I'm Jamal Bakes, and thank you so very much for listening to the station bringing you talk, news, entertainment that you won't get anywhere else. KUAW, in, of, and about our community.
This is comedian Janelle Banks, and you are listening to KUAW, Kansas City.
This weekend is the last weekend before Thanksgiving, and on Blues Time in the City.
You say I be bashing men's.
Man bashing? That's Miss Jody. Man bashing. She's talking this weekend, and Tina Turner's birthday is on Thanksgiving Day, so we're showing Tina much love. Join me, Roger Bailey, for Blues Time in the City. Your weekend stop for the best in blues and southern soul. This weekend, right here.
KUAW listeners, this is Carl Boyd for Wave Your Grades, coming to you every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW. This program features American students striving for excellence in honor of our troops and American veterans, encouraging American students. Please join us every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW.
Now on the air in Kansas City, the Cheryl Underwood Show.
We are proud to be part of the KUAW family.
The Cheryl Underwood Show. Weekdays Monday through Friday at 12 noon. KUAW around the world on KUAW.org.
Todd Tribbett, we gonna be all right here on the Jamal Bakes Show. I'm your brother in Christ, Jamal Bakes. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me, fam, for another weekend, all right? We've got a big show for you, man. As always, the Rose Show Live will be here with her Faith Move next. And we talked to my man, the Laugh Therapist, later on in the show. We've got music on the way from Doe. We've got Corinne Hawthorne, Keandra Lockett, brand new William McDowell. Cannot wait to share that one with you as well, all right? And a whole lot.
Hi, you're listening to KUAW Radio with Truth Be Told with myself, T-Baby, Kansas City's global community radio station. If you have a business or an event that you would like sponsored here on KUAW, make sure to send us an email at KUAW985@gmail.com. You can call in anytime during this live broadcast at 816-599-6893. We're available 24/7 on the World Wide Web. That's www.kuaw.org. If you're watching me live on Facebook, hi. And if you would like to watch me live on Facebook, hop over to our Facebook page, KUAW-radio. Make sure to like and share that page with your friends and family, as well as our YouTube page, which is just KUAW. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page as well. We're available across all social media avenues: Twitter, Instagram, Periscope. I'm probably leaving some stuff out, but all of them that you can think of, we're on there, KUAW. We are a listener-sponsored station, so at any time you that they push it on your heart to place a love donation with us, feel free. Any of those avenues, you're able to make a donation to KUAW. We definitely appreciate you guys supporting us and making sure that we can keep providing quality content for our listeners. Alrighty, so we know the Chiefs won on Sunday, you know what I'm saying? That's a good thing or whatever, but the real hype this week is Washington. Alex Smith, beating the Steelers, so we can move into that number one spot. We definitely appreciate our old quarterback, you know what I'm saying, for looking out for us and helping the kingdom out, and you know what I'm saying? It was exciting. It was an exciting game to watch. I'm glad that they were able to pull it off. Yeah, so coming for that number one spot. That's just like what we gotta do. So, yeah, just appreciate them for going ahead and knocking the Steelers down off of that undefeated score or undefeated season. So that was exciting to watch yesterday. That was happened on Monday. We play again Sunday, so hopefully we keep the momentum and keep winning and hold down that number one spot. So, the road to the Super Bowl comes through Kansas City, okay? I mean, we gonna be there, so, it's more so than come through Kansas City, but you gotta beat us. Period. You gotta beat us. That's just what we going for this year. So I'm excited about that. It's a great time to be a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It's exciting. It's been exciting for about the last 2-3 years. I know we went through some hardships. You know what I'm saying? We went through some long hardships with this team. So it's a great time to be a Kansas City Chiefs fan. We got room on the bandwagon, so you know what I'm saying. Y'all go ahead and jump on. We don't discriminate. But yeah, that was exciting. So I was excited about that. But in other news, one thing I was really disappointed in finding out today is that our own Asiatic-owned, Black-owned gun store, Drum Magazine, was robbed last night, about 12 o'clock this morning in Independence. The one at Independence. I mean, they got away with about $50,000 worth of guns and ammunition and all that kind of stuff. The owner posted it was about $50K worth of inventory. Man, and it's crazy because it's just so many emotions that go through with this. Like, it reminds me of, yeah, he was on the show. He has been on KUAW when it first opened. You know what I'm saying? He was on KUAW, just talking about the store that he was opening and everything like that. And it just saddens me because it's such a crab in the barrel. I don't know the saying, crab in a barrel mentality. You know what I'm saying? It's like we talk about Black Wall Street, right? And we talk about all the businesses that we had and how the Europeans came in and bombed it because they didn't want us to have anything and all this other kind of stuff or whatever. But then you look at situations like this and it's like, we don't want us to have anything. You know what I'm saying? You ain't been hearing about none of these other gun stores getting robbed or anything like that or whatever. And then as soon as it's literally been open probably less than 6 months. Soon as we try to put our oar in the water, you know what I'm saying, our own people destroy it. Our own people set us back. And everybody like, well, that's what insurance is for. And I understand that's what insurance is for. And I'm pretty sure he probably had insurance. It's not about the act of it being vandalized or theft or whatever like that. It's just the fact that, because we do have things in place to handle those type of things. You do have insurance and everything like that as a business to cover those type of losses and everything like that. But it's just the audacity that it's your own people. You know what I'm saying? And then the thing about it is what we're gonna go out and we're gonna buy these guns off the street from whoever then stole it or whatever. People, then you think about Kansas City and we think about all the gun violence and stuff that we have out here. So now you got all these guns on the street that are going to be sold unregistered. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's added into the gun violence and the murders and everything else that we have here in Kansas City, like just over our heads in anyway. But the fact that, it's like we can't have nothing. How can you sit here and say we need to rebuild Black Wall Street and we need to have our own businesses and we need to, create our own jobs and all the things that we talk about here on The Truth Be Told, like just providing for ourselves. And then when you got people out here that is banking on your downfall, are contributing to your downfall. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I just encourage anyone that's listening to go find one of the posts that shows the cameras of these two gentlemen, that shows the car and everything like that, and repost it and say something. Like, that non-snitching stuff is out the window, especially when it comes to our own people. I never understood that role when it came to our people. You know what I'm saying? Or that rule. You know what I'm saying? Like, that non-snitching rule. Like, that stuff 2020, that is out the window. It's too much stuff going on. There's too many mass shootings. There's too many deaths amongst children, amongst family members, amongst just our community in general. You know what I'm saying? To be sitting up here and just let this type of thing pass us by or go over the shoulder. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we have this and I call it a crab in a bucket mentality, or barrel mentality. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, once one person tries to get ahead there, you got so many people trying to hold you back, like attacking, like they can't do the same type of things, or like they can't find their own lanes and everything like that. And it's like, we're holding each other back, and it discourages our people for even trying to do some things, or to even trying to establish. I'm sorry, this is crooked and it is bothering me. I'm sorry, y'all. I got OCD. This little scarf is crooked, bothering me. But anyway, yeah, it's like, we hold each other back so much, and the only thing that's going to stop it is us saying something, doing something about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, not looking past it, not letting the things go by, not like, oh, well, they got insurance, they'll be okay. Like, no, it's not okay. It's not okay that we have people in our society that feels like that they could just go do these things at the drop of a dime. That, you know what I'm saying? It's like, us vandalizing, stealing, and, you know, just everything from our own is worse than our oppressor doing it to us. You know what I'm saying? It's like, when you understand why the oppressor would do it to you, because that's their thing, that's their mentality. They don't want you to get ahead. But when your own people is doing it to you, it's like, why should I try to put something out there? Because I mean, a lot of people that open these Asiatic owned businesses do it for our people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, to provide jobs for our people, to provide a way for our dollars to circulate within our nation before it touches the outside nation, so that we can all try to get ahead, you know, as a whole, and not just as individuals. And we have individuals that want to not see us succeed. You know what I'm saying? That does everything dumb, crazy stuff like this, like, to not see us succeed, you know? And then, and on top of us too, we have to be more prepared. Like, at the end of the day, there shouldn't be no way that they were able to get to break inside of a place and an alarm or something not go off to where they were able to take that much merchandise. You know what I'm saying? For the police to not show up, for you know what I'm saying, the alarm to not be sounding off or anything like that. Not saying that it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was or if it wasn't, but when you think about, like, the response, like, if an alarm goes off, you know what I'm saying, the police respond. I remember the alarm going off in my house. The police be there in like 5 minutes. You know, granted, I lived in Lee Summit, so it's a difference. They got a quicker response time, you know what I'm saying, out there than a lot of other places or whatever. But still, in the same, it's like, we shouldn't even have to go take, like, we shouldn't have to really go, like, depend on those measures, like, to depend on the police or anything like that, or, you know what I'm saying, like that, just because, like, why? You know, like, why? I just don't really understand it. And then it's like, and then it's guns, man. It's like, Kansas City, well, we already known as Killer City. We didn't already top, like, the highest homicides that we didn't had in centuries, you know, or decades, you know what I'm saying, just this 1 year. And it's crazy because it's in the middle of a pandemic. Like, in the middle of a pandemic, you had the most homicides. You got, like, just, it's crazy. And we know, we didn't talk about it several times on this show. We know that our men are the leading victims and what's the other word? Victims and offenders, I guess. Like, we lead in both categories, over 60%. You know what I'm saying? We lead in both categories. And now it's like it's making it easier. And then you think about who gonna be buying guns off the street? Somebody that can't go get a gun in their name. Well, why couldn't they go get a gun from the store or whatever? They're either too young, not mentally prepared to even have a gun or anything like that or whatever. So it's just giving more access to these people that are committing these crimes that are literally keeping us held back or keeping us down or keeping us in a negative connotation just amongst our people and amongst our own communities and everything like that. So it's like, oh, hi, Mrs. Walker. Oh, I already like this, so she not seen her. But it's like, why? What would even make you? What we had to understand is like, what would even make it's all? And really, I can't even say, not even ask the question because we kind of know what it is. It's $1. You know what I'm saying? Everybody do what they can do or try to do these things or whatever just to make the next dollar. We somehow made money our God. Everything depends on how much money you have, what you can buy, even relationships. Like, what can you do for me? What can you provide for me? It's like everything is just based off of money. And it just reminds me of, like, you know, this always saying that money is the root of all evil, but it's not really money that's the root of all evil. It's the wantonness, if that's a word. I don't know if that's a word or whatever, but the wanting, and it's like you would do anything for $1 just to say that you, and the crazy thing about it is to please society, to buy fancy clothes, name brand clothes, Jordans every week, to have a fancy car, just to show all these other people or show off to all these outsiders or whatever, when really we need to be focusing on self. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy because I have not always been this way, but I know in my adult life, I have always been the type of person that's like, I really don't care what others think about me. You don't have to like the way that I dress. You don't have to like the car that I drive. None of that, because none of that is going to affect the way that my life is going to be tomorrow. None of that is going to affect the way that I feed my family. None of that is going to affect the way that I pay my rent or I pay my mortgage or I put gas in my car or I put food on my table. Any of that. No one's opinion of you matters. You know what I'm saying? It's all about what you think about yourself. Like, and I remember even going through and I could say this, like, even going through my lock journey, right? A lot of people say, you know, when you lock your hair, I don't want to go through the short phase, or I don't want to go through the ugly phase, or anything like that. I was one of those people. When I decided to lock my hair, that was one of my biggest concerns. It's like, I don't really want to go through the ugly phase, you know, because I was worried about what everyone else was going to think of me when they looked at me and everything. But even going through the journey, like, I know with locks now, it's become more of a fashion statement. It's become more of a hairstyle, but it's really more of a spiritual journey and what you learn about yourself through that journey, and how you learn to love yourself despite what your hair looks like. You know what I'm saying? In that journey or whatever. And everybody said, well, you never even had an ugly phase. Like, your hair's always been cute. You always been cute, but it was my confidence shining through. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and like I tell everybody, like, my hair was short. It was short when I first started my locks. It was nappy. It didn't look, you know what I'm saying? I go now, if I take this scarf off right now, my edges look terrible. Like, it's nappy, you know what I'm saying? But it comes to the point where it's like, I don't care. Like, my hair doesn't define me, you know? And we got to understand that these clothes, these cars, these status, these social statuses, these financial statuses and everything like that, none of those things define who we are as a person. Your character defines who you are as a person. How you carry yourself, how you love yourself defines who you are as a person. So we can't be out here doing all these things and committing all these crimes towards each other, out here trying to please society, trying to keep up with the Joneses, as my mom used to call it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you feel like you gotta have something just because everyone else has it, or that's just what society says that you have to have. Like, everybody going crazy right now over Christmas, and they can't find these PlayStation 5s. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but you want your kid to have a PlayStation 5 because the next kid got a PlayStation 5 when they got a PlayStation 4 that works perfectly fine and plays the same games. Like, no, we need to, and it's crazy because Christmas time, and we feed these things into our children. You know what I'm saying? Like, you standing in line buying Jordans, like your son gotta have every pair of Jordans and stuff that comes out, and you know what I'm saying? We feed those things, these mentalities into our children at a young age, instead of teaching them that you gotta be happy with what you have, appreciate what you have in the present. Don't worry about what somebody else got. Don't worry about what somebody else is doing. Know that you are healthy, you are happy, and you got clothes on your back. Be proud of that. You know what I'm saying? Don't just give in to what you feel like everyone else should be doing, or what everyone else is gonna say about you, or what kids gonna talk about you, or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? We can't dwell off those type of things. Like, we need to teach our children that, instead of trying to break our back, stress, go in debt. You know what I'm saying? Like, how like a lot of parents do during this holiday season, just trying to please their children and get them everything on their Christmas list and all kind of stuff like that. I've just seen so many parents post their children's Christmas list, like, I don't know how I'm gonna get all this stuff, but I'm gonna make it happen. My baby deserves the best, and this and that. No, teach your children to appreciate what they have. You know what I'm saying? Teach them that they don't need all these material things to have happiness or to be acceptable in society. That's one thing I loved about growing up not celebrating holidays. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never celebrated Christmas. Like, I mean, since I was little, like my dad, you know, my mom, like everybody, my grandmas are Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, I've always grown up in a family that did not celebrate holidays, and it made me appreciate things so much more. And I look at people that, you know, that did, or parents now that do, and they stress over these holidays every year, trying to keep up and buy all these type of things, going in debt, instead of when we should be buying stocks and bonds and land, and you know what I'm saying, everything like that. Not no $500 PlayStation 5. Like, what? Like, when the game's gonna be $60, the controller gonna be $60. Like, you need so much more stuff to go along with that $500. By the time you get done with it, you didn't spend about $1,000 on a gaming system when your child is flunking. Like, flunking in school, you know what I'm saying? And you worried about a gaming system. Heck nah, I'm gonna buy you a gaming system, all right? It's gonna call Hooked on Phonics. Should teach you some multiplication, teach you another language or something out here, something that's gonna help you in life. Not no gaming system that you just gonna be wasting your time playing video games and all this other kind of stuff or whatever. Like, those type of things are irrelevant, and we need to realize that as adults. We need to realize that. We need to teach that to our children, because they grow up to be people that rob gun stores because they got to keep up with the latest guns, or they need money so that they can buy the latest Jordans or the latest red bottoms or the fastest car, the nicest car, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. They feel like they have to keep up with all these social norms that our oppressor really has made the norm. We didn't make it the norm. You know what I'm saying? We didn't make it the norm. We just trying to keep up with it. And why? You know, and we find ourselves robbing and stealing and raping and, you know what I'm saying, just all kind of things or whatever, just doing whatever it is, all these lower self qualities, all these evil actions, you know what I'm saying, just to what? Just to say we got it? Just to say that we did it, just to say that we got all this money in our pocket or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's ridiculous. We hurting our own people out here just to keep up with people and you know, yeah, like, I just really don't understand it. It really just hurt my heart when I seen that, because I know how hard, you know, that brother worked to get that store up and running. I know how hard it probably was for him to go through getting all the licenses, to get out of, you know, because they make it hard for us. They don't make it easy. They don't make it easy for us to start businesses. They not out here just handing out business loans to Asiatics. Like, yeah, you go open up this, you go open up that. They not out here doing that. So trust and believe, it was some struggles to get that type of stuff open. So you see all your hard work, and then you just see your own people tearing it down. We got to do better. Say something. If you know somebody that knows somebody, say something. Like, at the end of the day, we got to stop being silent about this type of thing, saying that we don't want to put our brothers in that situation. We don't want to put them in legal slavery and all this other kind of stuff. But sometimes it takes that. Like, and it's crazy. I don't even want to get into all that because I know I got to go on break soon. But we just got to get out of that mentality, because we can't be taking responsibility for or trying to save, you know what I'm saying, people that don't want to save themselves, or people that's out here causing ruckus amongst the nation. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I always say, well, I could never be in control, because I would go back to king and kingdom days. Eye for an eye. You steal something, I'm chopping off your finger. Like, I bet you won't steal nothing else. Like, it's like those type of times or whatever. People don't even care about going to jail no more. They don't. Our people don't even care about going to jail no more. One, because a lot of their friends and family is in jail. You know what I'm saying? They gonna be in there. You get 3 meals a day. You get shelter. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't gotta worry about nothing or whatever. They don't even care about going to jail no more. It's not even a punishment to a lot of people. So we really just have to learn how to, we have to get out of the, I don't know. I don't really know what it is. Y'all got to help me out with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the solution to this is, we have to start encouraging our people to think a different way, because it all goes off the way that we think. It all goes off the thoughts that we hold, and because that's really what our reality is based off of. I'm gonna have to go on break a little bit early, Mr. Walker. So, yeah, that's my spill on that. I don't want to take up this whole time just talking about that. I'm going to go ahead and go on break a little bit early, and I'm going to come back with this second segment. I want to talk about, like, responding versus reacting. So, y'all keep that in mind. I'm going to go on break. Bear with me, and I'll be back.
All right, you're listening to KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. We don't only bring you videos on Facebook and YouTube, but listen to our audio only, where you'll get shows like Cheryl Underwood and Blues Time in the City. You can pick us up at www.kuaw.org or go to the TuneIn app and search KUAW. Listen to us. We're on 24 hours a day. That's KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. And this is what you hear every day from noon till 2. Don't miss the Cheryl Underwood Show.
It's the jump off. Welcome to the Cheryl Underwood Show.
That's what I'm talking about, Courtney Black. Where are we going, Kyle Irving?
George R. Smith College in Sedalia, Missouri. It was open from 18.
It's Courtney Black with the facts on Cheryl Underwood Radio, and you are in the entertainment segment with Courtney and Kyle. It's time for a social media shout out. Today I'm shouting out from Instagram my girl Donna Webster. What's up, Donna? We appreciate you, girl. If you want me to shout you out, follow us on Instagram at Cheryl Underwood Radio.
You are listening to KUAW Radio, home of the all-new Jamal Bakes Show, and I'm Jamal Bakes, and thank you so very much for listening to the station bringing you talk, news, entertainment that you won't get anywhere else. KUAW, in, of, and about our community.
This is comedian Janelle Banks, and you are listening to KUAW, Kansas City.
This weekend is the last weekend before Thanksgiving, and on Blues Time in the City.
You say I be bashing men's.
Man bashing? That's Miss Jody. Man bashing. She's talking this weekend, and Tina Turner's birthday is on Thanksgiving Day, so we're showing Tina much love. Join me, Regina Bailey, for Blues Time in the City. Your weekend stop for the best in blues and southern soul. This weekend, right here.
KUAW listeners, this is Carl Boyd for
I really should have went before we
Grade,
started.
coming to you every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m.
I know,
right
but
here
when I
on
realized I
KUAW.
had to use the
This
bathroom,
program
it was already
features American students striving for
5:59.
excellence in honor of
Like,
our
oh, shoot.
troops and American veterans, encouraging American students. Please join us every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW.
Now on the air in Kansas City, the Cheryl Underwood Show.
We are proud to be part of the KUAW family.
The Cheryl Underwood Show. Weekdays Monday through Friday at 12 noon. KUAW around the world on KUAW.org.
Todd Tribbett, we gonna be all right here on the Jamal Bakes Show. I'm your brother in Christ, Jamal Bakes. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me, fam, for another weekend, all right?
I'm sorry. Okay, whew, I appreciate y'all bearing with me and letting us get our sponsorships out the way. Again, if you have a business or an event that you would like sponsored here on KUAW, make sure to shoot us an email at kuaw985@gmail.com. We do check our emails. We are Kansas City's global community radio station, so we are here for you. So again, if you have a business or an event, make sure you shoot us an email so that we can get it posted on our website, get it posted on our show promo and everything like that, just to get it out there to the community and help as much as we can to make your event or business a success. And so yeah, all right, so that was the first half of the show. I appreciate you guys again rocking with me, listening to me. So I want to talk about reacting versus responding to situations. And so with that, I guess, oh, hold on, yo, do you know that your mic is hot and everybody can hear you talking about you going to have to use the bathroom? Oh, my mic was on. My bad. So let me see. I wanted to start off with the, let me see. I'm going to pull this up because I'm going to do, I like dictionary.com. It's one of my favorite websites. So I'm just going to pull it up here. I thought I already had it, but I don't. And I want to read the definitions of reacting and responding. But we're going to do reacting first. So to react in a response to an agent or an influence. To act reciprocally, I guess that's the word, upon each other as two things, to act in a reverse direction or manner, especially so as to return to a prior condition, to act in opposition against some force, to respond to a stimulus in a particular manner. It's crazy that that the word respond is in the definition of react, to undergo a chemical reaction. So let's just look at respond real quick. So respond is to reply or to answer in words, to make a return by some action as if in answer, to react favorably, to say an answer or reply. So the reason that I wanted to do that, because I realized that a lot of times when we are when we are faced with situations, a lot of people, we tend to react to the situations. So basically we act off of what that situation, like the emotion that situation caused. Like for instance, if someone says something to you, it makes you angry, right? So you react in like an argumentative type of way, or you might want to fight, or you know what I'm saying, you're reacting to the anger. You're basically reacting to your emotion versus responding to the situation. So answering the situation or replying to the situation, you know what I'm saying, at hand. But a lot of times we tend to react, and even in ourselves, right? Like we something can occur, some outside stimulus can occur, and it may make us cry. That's a reaction. It's not a response. You know what I'm saying? Or we can see something on TV, or you know, something that reminds you of something, and then you get depressed. You know what I'm saying? That's a reaction, not necessarily a response to what is actually occurring. And I feel like a lot of times, another thing with that is as well is, I remember being younger, and my dad used to tell me all the time that you have to think before you speak, or you have to think before you act. You know what I'm saying? And so it's more so once you take that time, that moment to think about something, then you move into the response area of it instead of reacting to it, because a lot of times we don't take the time to think, we just react, you know what I'm saying, to the things that's happening to us, or the person that's saying something that we don't like, or you know, whatever it is, you know, somebody doing something that's making us feel a certain type of way. But this is all about knowing thyself, because we are in control of it. And I know me personally, it's something that I'm working on, just because I don't like to respond in emotion. So I don't like to react off of emotion. You know what I'm saying? It's like I like to think about it. I like to take time to really consider what it is, how I'm reacting to a situation. You know what I'm saying? Or try to really evaluate the type of things that makes me feel certain emotions. You know, because that's not always the best way to deal. We find ourselves in a lot of trouble, confusion, situations that we don't want to be in when we decide to react instead of respond to something, you know, instead of trying to work it out and try to, you know, have a genuine conversation about how it is that we feel, or how someone made us feel. Not really made us feel, because no one can really make you feel a certain type of way, but how we allowed someone to influence our feelings. And yeah, and I feel like it's very important as well as in relationships, and it's intimate relationships, friendships, sister, sibling, parent relationships, any type of relationship that you really can think of that's really close to you, because it's always the ones closest to us that can bring the worst reactions out of us. You know, I think that's like an old saying or something like that. It's like, you know, it's always the ones closest to you that affects you the most. Like, so we have to really, and those relationships are real delicate. So we have to really, focus on those relationships and take more control. And thinking before you act, or thinking before you speak, helps give you more control over your response to a situation versus just reacting out of emotion and letting your emotions take control over what it is that you're doing, or over, you know what I'm saying, over yourself, over what it is that you're putting out into the atmosphere. I think that's important for us to teach our children as well, so that they're not in school, or, you know what I'm saying, acting up. They don't get into a lot of fights and everything like that. And then also, it's like you go through so much, you go through so many things, like emotionally, that you have to learn how to deal with your emotions in a healthy way. You have to learn how to, what is the word I'm looking for? You have to learn how to express yourself when you're, it's hard, like when you're in a certain emotional state. You need to learn how to recognize the emotional state that you're in to bring yourself up out of it. You know, I feel like that's very important. I know lately I've been, and I'm just gonna share this with y'all, just being transparent. I just been, you know, a lot of people say that it's COVID, and I'm not gonna say the word depressed, but it's just finding myself in a saddened emotional state a lot lately, like or angry, you know, or irritable. Like, it's just lower vibration, like lower frequency state. And it takes work. Like it takes a lot of work to try to eliminate, and I don't think you can necessarily eliminate these type of things or whatever, but to be more in control of what it is that you're projecting into society, or what frequency you're dwelling on, or what, you know, or frequency you're giving out, what energy that you're giving out to others around you. Like, it takes a lot more knowledge and evaluation of self to really understand how to control these things, because a lot of times, for most part of our lives, these things control us. You know, I remember being younger, and I used to get into a fight or something like that, or in school, and I tell my dad, like, well, he made me, or she made me mad, or, you know what I'm saying, or they, you know, it's always somebody else did this, or they made me do this. And he just tell me, can't nobody make you do nothing. Like, you choose what you do. You know what I'm saying? You can't really control, kind of going back to last week to the serenity prayer and everything like that. You can't really control what other people do, what other people say, or anything like that. The only thing that you can control is what you do. You know, with how your emotions, how you handle your emotions, how you express your emotions, or respond to you know what I'm saying, your emotions within yourself. Those are the only things that you really can control. You can't control what no one else does. You know, you can tell them, you can try, but you can't really necessarily control that. You got to be able to deal with those type of things however they may come. And I feel like it's really important to teach our children that, especially in these days and age, especially with like teenagers, you know, because a lot of teenagers, we talk about like teen suicide and then children or teenagers acting out, you know, in certain manners and things like that, and stressing their parents out because they getting kicked out of school, or, you know, whatever. But it's like, it's important that we teach, and meditation has a lot to do with it as well, because you got to learn how to meditate on some things. You got to learn how to really think and go inside and, you know what I'm saying, just listen to your conscience and listen to the guidance of the universe of what it's going to give you on a lot of things. We need to quit being so quick to react to things. I'm the type of person, I'll tell you in a minute, well, I need to think about that, you know what I'm saying, I can't respond to that right now, or I can't answer that right now, you know what I'm saying, and it might just be I'm not ready to answer that. And as people, we got to learn how to respect that. You know, a lot of people don't know how to respect someone telling them like, I can't answer that right now, or, you know, I get back with you later on that. You know, they want you to do it right then and then. I want you to answer it right now. I want you to tell me right now. I'm like, no, because if I tell you right now, it's not going to be a favorable answer, you know, versus me going to having the time to think on it, or having the time to really meditate on it and really consider my actions, or consider my words and how they affect other people, you know. And that's one thing I've been working on myself, just with in all dwellings, like my little sisters, intimate relationships, my father, like anyone, my friends, like anyone that I come in contact with, like I have to understand, like you have to understand that you deserve and you are entitled to whatever time you need to respond to a situation. You don't have to respond to someone on their time or when they feel like you got to respond to them. No, you don't have to do that. You're entitled to what it is that you need to make sure that you're in a good place, so that you don't cause any further confusion in a situation, or any further riff-raff, you know, in a situation or whatever, no matter what that situation may be. I also wanted to talk about, and this is kind of goes into the same thing too, because it goes back into reacting and responding. It's like being friends, because y'all know I try to make this segment kind of dealing towards relationships and stuff. So it's like being friends with the ex, right? Like if you're in a new relationship, and I don't know if we talked about this before, we may have on a show or whatever, but I personally feel that it has a lot to do with insecurities. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know how we can necessarily expect someone to like just cut off a tie or a soul tie, that as they may call them, a soul tie or whatever, or that you may have had with a particular person just because you start dealing with a new person, you know. And you shouldn't have to, you know. If you're entitled to your friendships, you're entitled to your relationships, you're entitled to live your life as you see fit. And I feel like that's why it's important that we find someone that really understands us as a person when we're dealing in like these relationships and things like that. Because if you know who I am, if you know who I are, or how I'm going to live my life, or how I live my life, then you know that you can't really control me in that sense, you know. And then, you know, you have some people on the other side that say, well, it's just respect for your partner, you know. But where's the respect for yourself? You know, where's the respect for your previous relationships? There's no one. You don't go into new relationships not having previous relationships. Now, I could see if you guys ended on like bad terms or something like that, and it was something in you personally that didn't, you know, just that person just wasn't for you, like the friendship or nothing wasn't there or whatever. But not all relationships end like that. So when we think about having friendships, and I guess I would consider it a friendship. Like, everyone is not really your friends, but I just say, I guess, association with like an ex or something while you're in a new relationship. As long as you trust your partner and you know that your partner respects what it is that you have currently, then there really shouldn't be any what is the word that I'm looking for? Any, like, you know, stress or insecurity surrounding like someone just still like being friends or communicating with an ex, or you know what I'm saying, something like that, somebody that they previously dealt with. Because I know in one of my past relationships, it was like it was a major issue or whatever, and it was kind of my fault because it was something that, you know, wasn't kind of explained. And sometimes it don't even have to be an ex, it could be just having an association with someone of the opposite sex. You know what I'm saying? It's like some people get all butt hurt. Can I say butt hurt? Butt hurt. Okay, I didn't already said it twice, but some people get all butt hurt, you know what I'm saying, just having associations or relationships with people of the opposite sex, like, you know, or friends of, you know what I'm saying, of the opposite sex or whatever. And that's not really fair to your partner that you know what I'm saying, you're dealing with. Like, we really shouldn't try to control people like that. I feel like it's a sense of control, and that is one of the major issues in intimate relationships. That is why they don't work, or why there's a lot of arguing or a lot of tension. Tension is the word I was looking for, but a lot of tension between the two parties or whatever, because someone's trying to control the other person. And we got to realize that you can't control other people. You know, I don't care if it's your wife, you know what I'm saying, that you done been with for 20 years. You can't control her. She gonna do what she want to do. And our relationships, we have to be open to understand that people are going to do what they want to do. You either going to trust them to do the right thing, know their character, or you shouldn't be dealing with that person in that manner. Not saying that y'all can't be friends or, you know, saying anything like that, but you just can't be, you can't deal with them in that manner. And it causes a lot of, the problem is that, like, these things aren't discussed like before we jump into these, you know, relationships or even sexual relationships. Like, these type of things aren't discussed. It always comes up later when someone does something, and now you want to argue about it. No, you can't do that. That ain't cool. This and that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't tell me what ain't cool. Like, that ain't, no. I'm the person that determines what's cool and what's not cool in my world. You just be happy that you're in my world. Like, if not, you can exit stage left. And I mean, it might not necessarily always be the right mentality to have, but that's, again, when we talk about finding someone equally yoked, I think that's the way that it goes, the way that the saying goes, finding someone equally yoked for you, someone that understands who you are as a person. Because if it's in your personality of having friendships or the things like, because really when you're in a relationship, you're really supposed to develop a friendship first. You know what I'm saying? So even if you have a foundation of friendship, if you try to build on to that foundation of friendship and go into an intimate relationship or something like that, even if that intimate relationship doesn't work out the way that you feel it should work out, the way that you thought it was going to work out or anything like that foundation of friendship should still be there. You know what I'm saying? If it was a strong foundation, if it was a strong friendship in the first place. So it's not just going to go away. You can't expect it to just go away. And it's really selfish to even kind of expect that out of your partner. You know, I see so many things on social media about, oh, they were texting their ex, or, you know, talking to his ex, or, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. All these statuses, you know, everybody use Facebook as a diary nowadays. So, you know, everybody business. But I mean, they put it out there, so hey, it is what it is. I'm like they therapist, because I'm going to comment on it. If you put it out there, I'm going to comment on it, okay? I think I'm a licensed, trained therapist, not just playing. But in the situation or in the things, but I do feel like I give good advice to, you know, people in general. So, you know, people just put things out there like that or whatever, and you see a lot of that. And when we discuss, like, you know, our community and these broken homes that we are creating, you know, saying these single parent families, I can't even say single mothers, because you got a lot of single fathers these days as well. So I'm just, just single parent homes, broken homes. It's not, it all goes back to generational wealth to me. We're not creating generational wealth. We're not creating a good foundation of solidarity between our families in our community, and we look out, to the other communities and see how they so close knit and successful, and and we wonder why we don't. But we got to understand, we got to start evaluating ourselves. And the thing about it is, a lot of that type of stuff comes from outside influences like social media or TV shows or like reality TV shows or movies and all this other kind of stuff or whatever. Because a lot of things that I see with our people is that we really are living, other people's, other people's, I guess that's the way to say it, perception of who we should be. We're not really living for ourselves. I seen this this quote status I had a couple of years ago, thanks to Facebook memories, but it was saying, it's like, you're either a creator or a creature, which is a creature is a subject of creation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're either thinking for yourself or someone else is thinking for you. And a lot of situations that we find ourselves in is other people's, and really not just other people, our oppressors, there we go. Oppressors, ideal, I know I didn't say that word 100 times today, but it's cool. I just be forgetting. Y'all know how I am with words sometimes, so. But our oppressors' ideal or impression of who we should be, how we should think. You know what I'm saying? That's why we find ourselves highest amongst murders, highest amongst victims, highest amongst criminals. You know what I'm saying? People that's getting convicted of these crimes, highest amongst thefts, and stealing from our own people, walking around with our pants sagging, cussing, like degrading each other, not really respecting each other, not really as men and women, not even respecting ourselves as just being a part of a whole. Like, that's why we find ourselves in those situations, because someone else is thinking for us. And until we come into the acknowledgement or into the knowledge that we have to start thinking for ourselves, and the way to really think for ourselves, we're going to continue to go through these same patterns generation after generation. We're going to teach these same patterns to our children. They're going to continue to go through them and everything else, until we understand the concept of thinking for ourselves and what that means, and really studying on it and knowing ourselves, knowing the power that we have within ourselves when it comes to our thoughts and our words, and the things that we do. Like, when we really come to a real clear understanding of what that means, then we will be able to change the conditions that we see ourselves in, the conditions that we see our people in. We won't have to be dealing with our own people robbing our own stores, causing heartache, amongst our own people, amongst ourselves, killing each other, taking our children's lives. You know what I'm saying? We'll be able to focus on building, on progressing. Like right now, it just seems like we can't get a break. It's like we are fighting ourselves, like men on men versus women. Then we got to deal with outside stimulus fighting us, police, oppressor, like jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to deal with all these people just trying to hold us down. It's like we can't even fight against them because we too busy fighting ourselves. It's like we just helping. And so when we learn these concepts of responding versus reacting, thinking for ourselves, respecting ourselves, respecting each other, then we will kind of start to see a shift in how our nation is going, or how our nation is looking. We could possibly get back in power and control, of what it is that we know we should be in control of. We could possibly get back into those things, or not possibly, we will. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about it is, it's like it's all based off of how we interact with each other, all based off of the energy and things that we put into each other. Once we learn how to respect each other as individuals as well as part of the whole, we'll be in a lot in a much better, can you say much better, teacher? Oh, okay. I know you can't say more better, so in a much better position than we see ourselves in today. You know, all the things that we see that like as against us, it's so easy to point out the things that's against us. It's so easy to point out I mean, and that's even in like relationships with others as well. Like it's so easy to point out someone else's shortcomings in a sense than it is for you to recognize your own or work on your own. You know what I'm saying? Which I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with pointing out other people's shortcomings, but I'm just saying, pull the weeds in your garden first before you try to go pull the weeds in somebody else's garden and your garden over here getting choked out. Like, you got to learn how to tend to your own garden first, as well as help others, because we need each other. Like, we need each other to feed off of and to grow and to like really be the best people that we can be for each other. You know what I'm saying? So that we can come as a whole, as you know, as humanity, as a nation, and rise. You know, because ain't one person is not just gonna rise on their own. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's gonna take all of us. It's gonna take. It's like the individuals make up the whole, but we got to understand that oneness. You know, that's a universal law, and a lot of people say it's actually the first universal law. You know, they say it in many different ways, but everything is bound by every other living thing. The law of oneness, everything being connected. You know what I'm saying? We got to understand, just as individuals, it's not always just the individual. We all make up a whole. We're individually making up a whole, and so we got to do our part. And doing your part is, you know, is like just working on self, as you know, as well as being a helping hand or a guiding light to others as well. But don't be so much of a guiding light to someone else or a helping hand to someone else that you forget about yourself or you neglect yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't be caught up in like just telling everybody what they doing wrong and all this other kind of stuff, and you can't even recognize the things in yourself. And that's what and that's a lot of things that goes into even the insecurity, kind of what we were speaking earlier in relationships, like the insecurities and stuff that we have. Like, we have to be able to recognize those things within ourselves and work on those things so that we are preventing those things from having a reaction to and causing a much bigger situation than what things are. And actually preventing us from being able to work through things with individuals or with family members or with significant others, or, you know what I'm saying, anything like that, to where we're just giving up on relationships so easily. Like, everybody always asks, like, how do our grandparents have such strong bonds and long-lasting bonds? And you look at today's society, shoot, people be together, they have a baby, they done broke up before the baby even born. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, and that's real talk. Like, you have a baby with somebody, the moment she get pregnant, y'all done broke up before the baby even get here. You know what I'm saying? It's like we don't have those same strong connections as like our grandparents and stuff and generations before us had. So we gotta learn how to get back to those. But I'm about out of time. So Miss Walker, like, yes, you are. Okay, I'm about out of time, so I'm gonna leave you guys with the Holy Covenant Asiatic Nation. You are the children of one Father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given ye suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with our Father, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember our relation that binds you to love and unity. And prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brothers in adversity, assist him. If thy sisters in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy Father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Peace.
All right, you're listening to KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio